everybody, Matt Bickel here, and today I want to talk to you about starting up or getting involved with a Dungeons and Dragons game that happens at a table. You're in person, whether you're in a game shop or your home, someone else's home, some place that you've agreed to meet with your group. Let's get you started in a real live in-person Dungeons and Dragons or other RPG or tabletop gaming group. Nothing wrong with playing online. But as a person who's played in person and online, has run the game in person at a table and online, I much prefer playing it in person. Now, that being said, it's also a little bit harder to get a game going in person because you have the entire globe to deal with if you're looking at a game online, whereas a game in person you're dealing with your community, a much smaller space. So you have to work a little bit harder to find players. So how do you do that? Well, you got to go a little bit old-fashioned, actually. Speaking from my experience, it took about 3 months for me to put together my first Dungeons & Dragons game, and I didn't really know anyone who played, so I didn't go looking for dungeon masters or any games that existed. I decided to just take the bull by the horns and start up a group myself. And so the first thing I did was I went out and bought this guy right here, the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition starter set. And this thing is spectacular. It retails for $20 to $25 just about anywhere. Walmart, Target, Barnes & Noble. You can get it all over the place. Really inexpensive. You could even go on Amazon and get it there for $20. Sometimes maybe it's on sale. A lot of my materials I actually get from Amazon because a lot of times they do have sales. I got my Player's Handbook, which retails for $50. For $30. It's spectacular. But the great thing about the starter kit that you can get is that it's a very, very small buy-in. Dungeons & Dragons is a game, but it's also a hobby. And like most great hobbies, it's really easy to spend a lot of money, playing and enjoying your hobby. And if you don't know if you like Dungeons & Dragons, and if you don't know if you want to be a dedicated dungeon master, do you want to spend a lot of money just to find out this isn't for me? That's what's great about the starter kit. $25 you're in. It has everything that you need. It has dice. It has a reduced instruction manual on how to run the game. It has a campaign guide that'll take you through probably the first 3 to 6 months of gameplay with the group you're involved with. It has dice. It has character sheets. Everything you need to get started and really find out if Dungeons & Dragons is a hobby and a game for you. And if it is, great, away you go. And if it's not, you're out $20. Not a big deal at all. Really, it's written in a good way too. It's easy to pick up and learn. There are so many free resources out there nowadays. You can go on YouTube, you can go on to Reddit, Discord, you can, the Dungeon Masters Guild. There are so many resources that are free online where you can ask questions, look at tutorials, see how other people went about these different situations, the scenarios, running the game, and how they put things together. I did it the old-fashioned way. I bought the starter kit, looked into it, said, this seems like fun. I think I can handle this. And my wife and I talked, said, hey, let's put out some flyers. We made some flyers. We put them in our game shops. About 3 months went by, and then people started calling, and I'm not kidding with you. I had to turn people away. I got so many callbacks. After I got 6 players, I'm like, I can't handle any more people. There's 7 people at the table, and that gets to be a pretty involved game when there's that many people. And I encourage you, becoming a dungeon master is a really, really cool thing. You don't have to do it. It's up to you. But Dungeons & Dragons, like most RPGs, is you're always needing more dungeon masters. No matter whether there's 2 players at the table or there's 10 players at the table, there's only ever one dungeon master. And maybe that could be you. Maybe you could get the starter kit. If you're wanting to play, that is. Get the starter kit, read it over, see what you think. Put some flyers up in some game shops with your information, callback number, your email address, whatever, and get this thing going. You can join one-shots. One-shots are easier to do. Instead of doing a campaign, go to some game shop and just see if you can jump into a little game going on there. Anything to get your feet wet because, dude, I'm telling you what, it's a great game. It's a great hobby, and maybe you'll like it. I really hope you do. I think you will. It's pretty spectacular. Man, have fun, and I hope the dice always roll in your favor.